There's something to be said about hard-nosed full contact. It's like that raw rap all the way back to boom bap. Spikes up, Ty Cobb inspired killing the corners. Heating up with recklessness, we still getting warmer. Nevertheless, nothing can test, we bring it best. Wile E. Coyote mixed with Roadrunner, full comers. Holding your title hostage, the kings we smoke others. You're either with us or against us, it doesn't matter which. Scouting your weakness, we bring the wrath when we hit. There's never been a squad as raw as trash can spit. You might get bashed with a stick while I'm pounding the fence. Look around, you're a fish while I'm rounding it quick. Take a look at the base and sprint off with a fist in your face. No remorse, no mercy, no force can hurt me. The scouts purposely bring the pain, come try to work me. But there's a crew of dirty cats.
Oh, yeah. Can I get a hoorah? Welcome again, once and always, the place to be on Wednesday evening, 6:30. It's your favorite internet celebrities, the Glue Guys. Welcome to the program, Season 2, Episode 10. Tonight, you get the very exclusive three-man booth. Corey Miller coming in from the get-go. He's going to see the program through.
Isn't that kind of like a UFC, like where the UFC commentary and shit? You got the three-man team.
Yeah, when they pull Bisping in or Felder, get him in there because Rogan couldn't be bothered with Fight Night or something, you know.
Yep.
Or DC won't get on a plane. I shouldn't say that. He's going to London. So anyway,
yeah.
Little shout out to the GOAT there in the intro. Can I get a hoorah? And I'm definitely didn't do good as Bones there. John Bones Jones, welcome the fuck back, man. We missed your ass. Oh, my God, did we? Tyson-esque UFC 285. If you bet the under, you made some money there because it was a minute and change. Third fastest submission in a heavyweight fight there for the UFC. John's back, folks. And there was a couple of yous because I saw yous. You're hiding in the caves now. You cockroaches about Cyril gone. He had a chance. John hasn't been back in 3 years. We told you last week at the end of the program. We told you there was no way in hell John Jones was losing this fight. There was no way. Now, look, I did not foresee him literally dominating. I mean, listen. You got to remember, folks, Francis Ngannou had to sit on Cyril Gane to win to beat him. All right? That boy don't know what hit him. That boy had no idea. I mean, go back and look. Marlos and I were texting. He sent me the picture. Look at Cyril Gane's face, man. He doesn't know what happened, bro. I needed a French interpreter in there because I know he said the French. Somebody like, all right, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah.
So welcome back. Now, we're going to get Stipe and Jones, and I'll just give you a little preview now. All right, nobody, and I've said this on the show before when we've been teased with a John Jones return, nobody, and I mean nobody, I don't care what division it is, I don't care. No one beats a motivated John Jones. No one in the history of the world beats a motivated John Jones, and from what I saw this weekend, he is motivated. Quick shout out, Alexa Grasso with the quickest taking of the back and rear naked choke I've ever seen. Not to mention, she took the color right out of Shevchenko's face. All right?
Parlay ruiner.
Ruined her. Now, I'm pretty sure we'll get a rematch, but I think it'd be kind of cool if Grasso turned around and went, yeah, I don't know. But she already said she would. Other quick notes before we jump in. Ian Gentry, the new Connor, won his fight.
Ian Gary.
Thank you. I don't know. I got Gentry screwed up on something.
Yeah, I don't know where you got that.
Thanks, Gary. More Irish name, too. I should have known better.
Ian Machado Gary. Let's because, yeah, he took on his wife's surname as a sign of respect to his child who is half Brazilian. I thought that was a really cool story.
That's a smart man right there. Smart man. Yeah. Mr. Miller, take a lesson there, soon to be married. Take a lesson. So shout out to him. The UFC keeps the hype train going. I'd also like to shout out real quick Derek Brunson's corner because that was a great that was when you throw in the towel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
That is when you do it. I know we make fun of it, but like, look, man, that dude was in he wasn't in trouble. He was already gone. So shout out to that corner. Also, shout out to Jeff Neal getting that 50K even though he missed weight. Shout out to hang in there.
That was a hell of a fight, though. That was a hell of a fight,
like
though.
That
was a hell of a fight, though. Back and forth, and especially because everybody thought Shamrock was gonna kill him. Everybody thought it was gonna be a wrap. Mid first round, second round tops. Had all the little casual dorks talking about, by any means, whatever he feels like it, whenever he feels like it. And that was a fucking battle, bro. There were a few points where you could tell even the announcers were like, yo, this shit could go any fucking way at any point. Homeboy's corner was even a little urgent going into that last round. They were kind of like, hey, wait a minute. Whereas the first couple rounds, they were very, very dismissive of Jeff Neal. I love fights like that, though. Just changed everything up. I love it.
Yeah, it was a good night of fights, man. Even the later card stuff was good. The ones I could catch because I was coming back from the tournament. We'll get into that a little later. Played a little softball this weekend. But basically, I was really happy. We got here. We were teased with John Jones before. He made it back. He looks a little different. He's talking a little different. And I'm happy he's here. I am scared, if he beats Stipe, that's it. He's going to retire because I don't know what's left. But the thing I want to jump on real quick and knock out of the way here, obviously everybody knows that Jones won. The thing I want to the thing I want to go over and get everybody's opinion, including you, Mr. Miller, and I text Marlos earlier today, Francis Ngannou, all right, after the fight, texts, hey, nice fight, Johnny, sign the champ. I'm still the champ. Then he goes and he put out another tweet, I believe it was, or in an interview where he said, basically, that fight's never going to happen. We were on the same wavelength there, but now John switched up, and I'm getting real tired of Ngannou finding ways to try to justify this shit talking when he knows that Jones isn't going to get him. He signed an 8-fight deal. Francis touched on that. That's the reason they're not going to fight. Like he just fight him somewhere else. It's getting real annoying. I actually agree with Jones when he called Ngannou the P word in the press conference the other night. Just flat out, you're a wuss. You're not going to fight me. Knock it off. So, and everybody seems to forget that Jones was actually training for Francis all this time until he left in the contract dispute with the UFC. I agree with John. You were offered to be the highest paid heavyweight ever in the UFC, and you took your ball and you went home. So now we get Jones with a belt, fight Stipe. I don't, that's going to be ridiculous. I'm just excited. We'll get that Shevchenko rematch now after Grasso took care of her. But Los, what do you make of Francis here? Trying to keep his name in the news with all this crap, like I showed you earlier today.
I mean, look, he was doing it right after the fight. Right after the fight, he was. I don't know. His first comment, "Good job" or whatever, John, just seemed sarcastic, kind of shitty. At the end of the day, it's a publicity game, right? If we break it down to brass tacks, Francis is not fighting someone right now. He's not. He doesn't even have anything lined up. Let's say for the next 3 months, right? Because if anything, he's going to have a camp that's going to be at least 8 weeks, right? And at this point, he has nothing lined up, nothing set up, nothing going. So the only way that you keep that, you keep that fervor going, you keep talking about it. It's a good opportunity, obviously, because John Jones just came in there and whooped the shit out of the dude that you had to, wrestle with for a while, right? Wrestle, and so yeah, that's to me, it's just him trying to keep himself a part of that conversation. I think as things go along and he still doesn't fight, people are going to lose interest, especially with this Jones Stipe fight coming basically in July. All things considered and everything working the way it's supposed to. So I mean, again, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to keep his specter high and in people's minds and ears and eyes, and he's doing that. But the shit he's saying is so weird because it's like, let's not get carried away because you knocked out a couple of doofuses and because he fucked Stipe up. Let me not. I don't want to act right, but at the same time, Stipe beat him pretty bad the first time, and then beyond that, we're not gonna act like Francis Ngannou is the super most technical fucking heavyweight and all that shit. We're not going to do that. And that's what I think has gotten carried away, is because he was beating people so handily. They basically said Ngannou was going to give him trouble, and he did, right? So then I don't understand how we all have this, so many people have this revisionist understanding of, who Francis is as far as a fighter. He's a puncher, dude. He's got, put you into the next stratosphere level power. However, let's not start acting like he's some super technical, unbeatable guy. It's just weird. I don't know, but especially when it comes to John Jones, everybody has to try to talk it to a point where it makes sense. Because in reality, dude, that I think the Stipe fight is a better fight than Jones versus Francis would ever be. Even though Francis his wrestling, his grappling, all of that has improved significantly over the last few years, it's still John Jones, bro. It's still John Jones.
Like, why we even? Yeah. Anyway,
why we playing them games?
Corey doing his homework. A little extra credit. He hears us kind of talking about UFC here and there, and in preparation. All right, and I want to applaud him. All right, he went and he watched the fights. He did some research. So let's you kind of being the outsider looking in somewhat, as opposed to the way kind of we go off about UFC. What were your initial impressions? What did you see? What were your feelings watching the fights the other night?
I mean, the main reason I even bought them was just because of John Jones. Like, I don't buy a lot of UFC fights ever, but I mean, he's back, so obviously we got them. So that right there shows you, like the hype there. No matter who he fights, it's going to be insane. But I just don't think anyone's going to beat him. Like, I just don't see how anyone beats him.
I agree.
I don't think anybody truly wants to fight him. Like, I think they want to act like they want to fight him to keep themselves relevant. But if they can get out of the way of never having to actually fight him, that's going to be a loss, and they don't want that.
And that's why I'm annoyed with what Francis is doing. To the fact that he even mentioned today, well, John signed a new 8-fight deal at UFC, so this is never going to happen. So that's the dumbest business move you can make. And I'm kind of getting all Chael's sunning on you right now. If you happen to listen to Chael's podcast and how he talks about it, you never want to hem yourself in. So Francis is so mad, he's letting his ego, all right, dictate his business sense, and that's a bad move. Maybe you don't ever want to go back to UFC. I get that, but you don't ever close the door. All right, you just leave it out there.
Wait a minute. He didn't really close the door. If anybody closed the door, it was Dana. First of all, let's get that.
I didn't see Dana's comment.
Hold on.
So let's
get that in the proper order. Dana came out during one of the press conferences leading up to this fight. Dana said, "Yeah, that's pretty much done. Francis will never fight here again. I never like to say never, but Francis will never fight here again." That was Dana. That was at least 3, 4, 5 days before Francis said that statement. And to me, Francis's statement was based on what Dana said, not vice versa. It wasn't a matter of him being like, yeah, I'm closing the door on that chapter or whatever, because all the previous interviews, he's kind of said, you never know what happens. Maybe we come back, whatever, blah, blah, blah. He has went on file and pretty much said what he stood for, what he stood about, what he stood up about, what he didn't like, he's been very, very transparent about that, probably more so than the UFC has ever been. Right. So it would be a little weird for him to say, for him to be looking at it like, I don't want to go back. What he has said for the most part is maybe things change, maybe something else happens. That's the stance he's taken all throughout this period of time. Even when he was on Helwani's show, and Helwani has no love for Dana.
Right.
And Helwani, Ariel was doing a great job of kind of alley-ooping a couple of options there to see if Francis will bite, and he really didn't. He was really, he's really steadfast in that he was saying that he made the decisions he made based on himself, based on other fighters, what he thought was fair, those types of things, which I can't do anything but respect. Because at the end of the day, let's not act like Dana hasn't been a snake forever. He did the same thing with Demetrius Johnson, easily one of the greatest fighters, period. And they were fucking him. And when DJ basically said, I've had enough of this shit, then Dana did his, I'm gonna make you seem like you're the bad guy. Francis is in a great position in that he has so much interest. People are so interested in what he does and what he's going to do. He's in a position of, a little bit of power to put some pressure on Dana, but Dana's the one that came out and said that. Jones's reps kind of even said something to the effect of, well, we have some relationships, so we can kind of smooth this over. The only person that started that never shit was in fact Dana in his feelings on his period.
I'll back off a little bit, but only to say, I don't have a problem with Francis leaving. I don't have a problem with the reasons that Francis laid out for why he doesn't feel a contract got done. It's pretty well known UFC has been company, company
UFC is for UFC. UFC is for UFC,
yeah,
not for the fighters.
The fighters literally got to strike to get anything, and
right.
The Reebok deal didn't help anybody except the UFC. So I mean, they've been fighting for some kind of equal stuff for years. So I'm not.
Neither does the Venom. Neither does the Venom deal either.
Nah, that don't help. And I'm sure the Project Rock deal didn't help any either. But the point being, I don't mind any of that. But I got to separate it and say, listen, it's real easy to throw shots when there's really no shot of this happening. And I'd said it earlier. Everybody forgets Jones was training for Francis. He said it's going to take me a couple years. I'm going to bulk up and be ready for this guy. That was how this all started, the heavyweight. So, Francis has known that John's been coming. And I get the contract thing. And I know that fight was offered before, part of the negotiation. That was part of one of the things offered. And, you can't get it done. You can't get it done. The problem I think I got with is it's easy, it's lazy to throw these shots. It's the low-hanging fruit.
But it's reality, though. But it's reality, though.
Because you can't ever be proven wrong.
Right. And unfortunately, that's the reality of it. Because, I would rather, if we were to put ourselves in the same shoes, and I know a lot of the time people, talking heads or whatever, fans, casuals, whoever, a lot of the time we don't put it in our own perspective, right? If you're at your job and your job is basically saying, look, we're going to pay you this much. And you say, you know what? Nah, man, that's not enough. And that's not going to work for me. And if you, eventually decide, I'm going to go somewhere else, wherever that else may be, and for whatever else that may be, once you make that decision, why the fuck would you give a shit what, who takes your position? Or more importantly, when they take your position, you're absolutely in a position to say, you're not as good as me. You could do that. And that's to me, that's just a natural progression of how ego shit works. Number one, because let's be honest, all this shit is based on ego. And at the same time, the point could be made for anybody involved in this situation. The UFC made lots of comments about Francis. It's easy to make those comments when he's not under contract. John Jones made some comments, a lot of which I agree with. Still, it's easy to make those comments when the fact is the fact is the fact. The reality is the reality. Where we are is where we are. I don't think that those comments are being made simply because they can't be proven wrong. It just so happens that they can't be proven wrong. John Jones has never went on record and said, I'm afraid of Francis. And he said it. He's like, yeah, I don't know why anybody would suggest that. Why were people suggesting that? Because other people were saying it. So then when the question gets asked of Francis or the question gets asked of John Jones, now the conversation is about two people who, like you said, cannot meet. At the end of the day, everyone's involved. Everyone's asking. It's the same reason why we have these dumbass GOAT conversations about Jordan versus LeBron or this and that. None of these things can actually happen because reality exists. Reality means that Jordan was already retired at that point. Or reality means that LeBron is not actually competing against Jordan. Why? Because Jordan doesn't fucking play. And so, but it doesn't change the conversation. It doesn't change the interest because at the end of the day, again, UFC, John Jones, fucking Francis, all of these people are in the business of making sure people are talking about them, and that's all they're doing. I don't think it has anything to do with contracts. I mean, shit, there's fights going on this weekend that are doing the same thing. We just don't give a fuck. That's all it really comes down to.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the only other thing I want to point out, we'll move on. And I gotta admit, I heard this on Chael again, coming back to Chael Sonnen's podcast. He made a great point. And he said the one thing he couldn't understand, and now we have context, so it makes a little more sense. As far as how Dana felt, and there's still bad blood from those negotiations. It didn't work out, obviously. Right. Dana's always been emotional when things don't go his way. He likes to shit on the other party. I mean, he's done it to Connor.
He's the burner. He's the bridge burner. Yeah, he's the bridge burner. He's the door closer. He is the one. He is the one that keeps that happening.
But here's the one that I don't remember anything really crazy that he said, and I could be wrong, so I'll have you correct me if I'm wrong. But I noticed that, Nick and Nate got a lot of camera time this weekend when they showed up. Now, Nick obviously is still under contract. Right. He called out Adesanya, which I didn't know, which God bless him. God bless you, Nick Diaz.
Man, but I need that shit he's smoking, bro.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's crazy, but I gotta respect the call.
Right.
lot of Nate Diaz on there. And, you know, and Chael made the point of, look, behind the scenes, you got to make a call. Some at the office got those tickets where they sat. Those are comps. You know, you got to go through the office. He goes, Francis Ngannou lives 4 minutes away from the arena.
Yes.
4 minutes. And the name of the game, and you said it earlier, you know, you got to keep your name out there. Mm-hmm. So while I don't agree with what he's saying about Jones, it's not stupid to keep tweeting and get your name out. Keeps people talking about you. I don't disagree with that. But, man, and maybe it's the bad blood, like I said. Maybe Dana was like, I don't want to see this MF within 3 miles of the building. I don't know. But if there was a way for Francis to go that fight, that would have helped him so much, especially with Jones winning the way he did. Yeah, they may never fight, but, man, if they're that close to each other. Again, you know, we had a face-off in the crowd. You know, 2 guys are coming up fighting. So, I don't know. I agreed with Chael there. Like, you know, from a business standpoint, take advantage if you can, but there may be enough bad blood where Dana would literally had him banned from the building, a la, you know, Vince McMahon style or something.
I'll do you one better, and I'll do you one better to add to that. You know, let's keep it real. Your boy Dana has done that to journalists, has done that to other fighters, has done that on a regular basis. And you know, once someone does something like that, or they're prone to it, or you know that that's kind of their modus operandi, then of course you adjust accordingly. I also, me personally, I don't think that would have been the same look. I don't agree with Chael there. I don't think you go through the things that Francis did, you know, in negotiation, and then ultimately having this, you know, this big blowout of okay, he's no longer here. Dana was on the press conference, basically foaming at the mouth, talking shit. I don't think you then turn around and show up at the, you know, at the event. Why? Because you're essentially adding more specter to their event that you would never benefit from. Because at the end of the day, even if you show up there and let's say Dana doesn't have a conniption, you show up there, what have you done? You've made more people pay attention to the UFC. They're not really offering you the money as a result. More people are going to start paying. More people are going to start watching. More people click the links. More people, you know, support the advertisers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All that does is build up for the UFC. It's a very one-sided situation. Otherwise, there's no way you show up there. In fact, the best thing you could have done was wait till it was over and tweet some shit. Because everybody's going to his Twitter, everybody's seeing his messages. SportsCenter put it up like immediately. MMA Fighting had it up. Every single MMA site that I follow, or every, you know, MMA account that I follow on social media had it up, and various different pieces of it over and over. There's no way that's beneficial to him.
All right, last thing.
I do have one
Corey
quick
in.
thing.
Oh, go.
Before the tape, what was that about?
The taping his foot, taping his toes.
So, yeah, he hurt his toe years ago.
Yeah, I read.
Was it Chael he was fighting? It was so basically it's very rare it happens. Yeah, it might have been. I know they said it. So basically, it's very rare when it happens. But when he steps a certain way, he was explaining that it just shoots this pain up where he can't do anything. So he was trying to guard against that. I loved how he did just the only way John Jones could describe it, where he basically said he was telling the commissioner right at the cage, like, look, if I can't do this, I'm not fighting. I really don't give a shit. And I believe him 100%. That's something John would do.
Me too.
They ended up coming like to a compromise where he had to take all the tape off of his foot, but they left his toes taped, and they split it so toes weren't taped together.
So his toes could open. Right. Yeah, so his toes basically could open.
Because apparently the commission, the way they wrote the rules, that is an unfair advantage where you can get more force, you know, almost like taping your knuckles. So whatever, he's hoping that, and I guarantee you Vegas commission comes out very soon and edits that rule to where John can tape his damn toes next time he wants to fight. But the thing I wanted to touch on, Corey, you kind of being a little more an outsider looking in, Los, this weekend, the Conor McGregor hype train picked up steam. They talked about, you know, him and Chandler now had problems. Dana playing it perfectly like you're going to have to watch a show. Some shit went down Friday. I'm not getting into it. So, again, tough to differentiate truth from fiction. Conor's the master. He's the expert. Chandler's like, look, I'm ready to fight. I need a date. I you know. So they're getting the hype train up now. And, Corey, I know you know who Conor McGregor is. Right. You watched it. You kind of saw some of that talk over the course of the show. You know, they showed the Jake Gyllenhaal scenes and they're filming and blah, blah, blah. What do you make of basically, are you going to watch the Ultimate Fighter show now? And did that catch your interest at all with this McGregor-Chandler fight coming after the show?
No. I love that
answer.
I've
Love
just
that
never watched the
Love that
show.
answer.
Like, you know, like I watch it rarely, and when I do, it's bigger events, like if McGregor's fighting or if John Jones is fighting, or like the hype stories. That's really the only time I'm intrigued / follow whatsoever. So it's hard for me to say.
So yeah, what we just proved, Marlos, was that the UFC media machine was a complete and utter fail, because Corey doesn't even know what the fuck the Ultimate Fighter is, and they didn't do a good job explaining it to the casual viewer who, like him, bought the fucking pay-per-view for John Jones. They had a golden opportunity to pull some of these people in for the stuff they have going on. All right, and I was kind of shocked they weren't talking more about the upcoming fights, because they have some great ones coming. They barely touched on them.
They
didn't take advantage.
I think that comes down to something very similar to our show. I think you can't cram everything into everything, and once you start cramming things in, then people pick and choose what they want to pay attention to. I think that pay-per-view was set up in a way that the focal point was at the very top, the huge umbrella, the huge circus, if you will, was John Jones's return. 1. 2, they had set that up essentially. Everybody expected Valentina to walk through Alexa Grasso.
Right.
So the stories that were set up there was, of course, John Jones coming back. And then the idea, okay, if John Jones wins, okay, we're going to push the idea he's the GOAT. And we brought Stipe on purpose. And that was the primary focus of everything. And the secondary part was, of course, Valentina was on a 50,000 fucking win title win streak. And oh shit, she lost. And if you notice, a lot of the focus hasn't really been on that either. The focus of that pay-per-view, in summary, in review, after the fact, before the fact, everything was about John Jones. They're not going to put anything else on the Ultimate Fighter there. They weren't talking about the Usman Edwards fight here coming up in a minute. They weren't talking about this Peter Yan Davashvili fight
this weekend
coming on this weekend, right? They weren't talking about none of that. Everything was about Jones.
Anything.
Right. Everything was about Jones. And I personally, if I'm doing it, I do it the same way. I want the focus being there. I want everybody to be tuned in for that reason and that reason only. And then when it happens the way I want it to happen or the way I don't want it to happen, I focus again and I keep everyone right there. The other thing, though, I'm going to say, as someone who I don't consider myself to be a casual, I watch everything, right?
We talk about the prelims that are free.
So
I watch on like ESPN.
I watch the early prelims. I watch the prelims. I watch the main event. I'm that guy. I watch all the shit. But even I don't give a fuck about the Ultimate Fighter. And I keep seeing people talk about the fact that once, a good quote I kept seeing was, Dana had to get Conor in order to resurrect this fucking corpse that is the Ultimate Fighter, right?
1,000%.
Right. So nobody gives a fuck, right? I don't. And again, I'm that guy. The person who would be marketing to. No one cares.
I remember the first 1 to 4 seasons. It was like, wow, this is pretty cool.
This is different.
This is new.
Right.
UFC is really starting to build popularity. This is I watched a couple episodes because it was the winner was going to be winning big. Got a big opportunity to go. And then after season 3 and 4 and however 170,000, it's the same thing. And there's just so many fighters, and it's every there's a fight this weekend. There's a fight last. It used to be every couple months there'd be some crazy event, and that was kind of it.
And those events were stacked. Those events were stacked. It wasn't we got 2 guys that are really popular and the rest of these nobodies.
Right.
No, I was stacked too.
Because I watched my first fights in high school. I didn't know anything about it, and it was a UFC 90. I don't know, way early on. Sparked my interest, and then UFC, the show came out. Pretty cool. And then it was just every weekend there's a main fight. So if there's a main fight, why would I even go back and watch?
I think another thing that killed
is the guys are so talented now, right? When you watched, look, we had no idea we were watching when Bonner and Griffin set the standard, season 1 finale, right? It's I think they voted it the best fight in UFC history. Whatever, I don't know, but that thing set us on such a high standard, and now I've tried to watch it a couple times over the years, and I think I've been spoiled with the talent becoming, because it's so commonplace now. There's so many fighters, right? And the guys on that show, it's like watching single A baseball, right? I can watch Mike Trout, or I can watch Bryce Harper, or I can watch, whoever.
Slow pitch softball on Saturday.
Slow pitch softball on Saturday. Let's go.
I
was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, there's such a disparity now between even the top 15 guys. Like, that's why I kind of dig the prelims, because even the 12th ranked guy versus the 15th ranked guy on most fights, except heavyweight, is a banger. Like, some of the best fights I've seen, no one even knows who these guys are. That's how I figure them out. And then I'll text Los like, hey, what about this? He goes, yeah. I saw his last 3 fights. He beat this guy. Like, he's got it all ready to go.
Was Grasso ranked, by the way?
I think she was 4th.
She was 3 or 4, yeah, somewhere around there.
I'll give you the history there. The last girl that Valentina fought was the #1 contender, Santos, or El Santos.
Yes.
She gave her some problems, all right? And
arguably, she won that fight. She won that fight.
It was a decision, and a lot of people said, she probably won the fight, like Lo said. So a lot of people are speculating, because Valentina basically picked Grasso for that fight, and a lot of people speculated she was dodging another round with Santos because she thought Santos would figure it out second time around. Now, at first, it got dismissed so quickly because of how many times she's won and how long, but after this fight with Grasso and how sloppy Valentina got as the fight went on, and the mistakes that she made that she has not made in 15 previous fights, at least me personally, I'm like, maybe she was ducking Santos a little bit.
Yeah. She almost got choked out in the third, right? Like, earlier.
Round.
Yeah, like as time
earlier
expired,
in the it was getting there.
Choked out right before. Yeah. I think it was the round right before that. Like, if time had 2 minutes left, she might have lost right there by submission, and then they came out the next round, and she got back in that corner, and I don't know what she was doing like a spinning kick with no room to escape, and she got like she got got.
That's right.
And it was over.
Perfect. That's the best way to describe that fight.
But my point, going back to why I brought this up, was like, she's a 4 versus a champion. Like, back in the day, like when UFC Ultimate Fighter first started, it was like if you weren't a 1 or maybe a 2, you weren't competing with the champion, really, right? Like, now I feel like there's a lot more disparity. Like,
it's not as 1-2. It's not about the rankings themselves. In some cases, they're throwing some extra parameters in there. Obviously there's the publicity side of things. There's the winning streaks. Or you have a guy, for example, who's like the second, the #2 contender or something, and the last couple fights he's just kind of eked them out and they've been boring. However, you might have a guy who's like 4 and who's climbing, who's just been beating the dog shit out of everybody's face the last few rounds, the last few fights, and Dana will fuck around and give him a shot. I personally, I like that.
Yeah, me too. I'm just saying, like, I feel like the talent gap between like the #1 contender and say like 8, 15 years ago versus the #1 contender and 8 now is like right there, where 15 years ago 8 would just get
mauled,
spanked.
Yeah,
like it wasn't.
Totally.
So that's what made the Ultimate Fighter interesting, because there was only like 3 elite fighters at each division that anyone even knew who they were. Past that, it was like, meh.
Even so, using that same point, like flyweight almost got removed entirely because of what you just said. It was like Demetrius Johnson, 1 or 2 other guys, and the field. You know what I'm saying? And so it is that way.
And he fought guys 2, 3, 4 times because
over and over.
Like, I think one championship fight, Corey, he was the champ, and the guy was ranked like 9 or even 11. Like, it was he might have been double digit shit, because he had just whooped the shit out of everybody before that guy. Yeah. And Dana was literally throwing shit against the wall and hoping that it would stick. And Mighty Mouse would just embarrass these guys.
I remember him. He was just insane.
Mm-hmm.
He literally he is one of the few guys. Like, a lot of these guys, when they dominate somebody, they dominate them. Mighty Mouse was such a company guy that I personally believe in my heart 100%. He held guys up for 3 and 4 rounds in certain fights just to try to extend the goddamn
thing. To make sure the fight was a seller. Right.
Because there ain't no way. Because, like, he'd be looking really bad 2, 3, second, third round. He'd be like, oh, I don't know, man. Maybe he's hurt. Maybe he had a bad camp. And in the 4th round, I was like, yeah, all right, that's enough. And just whoop, and it's over. It's like, God, well, where the fuck was that in the first round?
Yeah.
But then you realize. But, yeah, I mean, I think Islam was, 5? When he got the title shot, Los? 4 or 5?
Yeah, he was, but and he's a good example of what we were just talking about. Like now, number one, if you think about in lightweights, it's exactly what Corey said. Right now in lightweight, 1 through fucking 15 practically it can be a banger. Like if you just put it in a mark hat and pull a name out, it's still gonna be a banger, right? If 15 versus 1 or 2 versus 13 or some shit, it's still gonna be a banger. Whereas before. Yeah.
I
think that also is but I think that's also what informed Dana's kind of direction to start doing more of those 1 versus 6s or 1 versus 4s and things like that, because there isn't that big a gap between anybody in the top 10, top 15. And it is one of those situations where being in the top 15 really does mean something. Very much like you said, that we're saying, nah, I don't want to watch no AAA corny shit. I don't want to watch no AA corny shit. Yeah. But if you see that number next to that dude's name, you're like, all right, this shit might be a fucking banger. And I've never heard of this guy before. And then when you start creeping up in the top 5 and shit like that, that's why like lightweight was so weird, because they gave the shot to Islam, but they could have gave the shot to anybody in that, in that top 8 easily. And it would have been the same way.
Which kind of brings me back to the original point, was there's so many top 15 fighters now that you have a main event every weekend, where when UFC, the show first started, like those guys on the show could have been 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and like they still weren't anywhere near 1, 2, 3. So that's why it was so much more intriguing. Now those guys would get wiped by 1 through 100, like that's why the show isn't.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in today's UFC. And again, I'll come back to the sport has evolved so much where, think about something. Griffith and Bonner sat there and threw boxers. There's no wrestling. There's no takedowns. Wasn't a lot of jiu-jitsu, even though Bonner was pretty good at jiu-jitsu at the time. It just didn't happen, right? So the sport has evolved where every guy is pretty well-rounded, can handle himself, on all disciplines. Whereas, you go back and watch the first 10 UFCs, you got Ken Shamrock trying to fight an Olympic wrestler. Like it makes no sense now, but at the time. So, and the thing is, it got watered down, I feel like, right? So, wait, I can barely get a good fight night card in between good pay-per-views. Why am I watching this show? Now, going back real quick, Los, to tie it in, like the lightweight is like a throwback to, when GSP was running. All right. And every fight he had was against a killer. And it didn't matter the matchups 1 through 6. You were just happy all those guys were fighting each other. And Dana has a wealth of riches between. I mean, Benny DeRouche can't even get a fucking good fight. And he could fight the champ right now. And I think he's 5 or 6. All right. He got beat. Leonard Edwards got screwed with COVID. A different division. Sorry. But Poirier. All right. Gagey. Chandler, who. Worst losing streak ever, yet every fight you can't wait to see him fight again. Yeah, all those guys there, and Oliveira, he's gone anywhere. He lost 1 fight. Everybody relax. You know what I mean? And he's got to come back to get the shot at Islam. He's got to win another one. Like you can't. Everybody else has this direct path back to a title shot after they lose. Like Valentino, automatic rematch, right? Not lightweight, bro. You got to get back in line. And it's the old school. When we had, Couture and Lesnar and Frank Mir could still fight. Like the heavyweights had 5, 6 guys. I can't remember the last time the heavyweights had more than 1 or 2 guys. Like, Ciryl Gane, I didn't believe in him when he first came through. I thought they rushed him. He's only been fighting like 4 or 5 years. Man.
Yeah, they said
they rushed him because they needed a heavyweight guy.
They said Jones had more title fights than he had total fights, right?
Yes.
Total MMA fights, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
I mean, Jones has he's got 15 title defenses. Just defenses, 15. Yeah. That's insane. But, they're trying to build heavyweight division. Every time they like a guy and they start to push him, he ends up getting beat. Look at Tybosa. They wanted him so bad, dude. And then he got knocked the fuck out. Rosenstrike there for a second. He got knocked out. Curtis Blades, my God, dude, we're on like the 4th chance here. Got knocked out. So they can't get a guy to stay up more than 1 or 2 fights to push him up. That's why I look back and I'm like, maybe Dana was a genius with Lesnar. Get him in there.
No, I think it's timing. I think it's timing. I don't want us to focus too heavily on just the difference, but let's focus on the delta. because something you said a little bit ago is important, that the way fighters are being trained, the way fighters are coming in is significantly different than what it was before. You could not just before, you could come in and just be a boxer and just be a wrestler or just be a grappler, right? Now it really is MMA. It really is having all of those skills and being prepared to use and or defend against any and all of those skills throughout a fight. I think that's important. I think that's
way better fighting now.
Absolutely. Now it's not just like a barroom brawl in a cage. Now it is a technical, technical martial art.
You look at people's like records now, and it'll be like, 15 wins, 7 by submission, 8 by or 2 by decision, 8 by knockout, whatever.
Right.
Back then, it was like this guy was either like 27-3 with 27 knockouts, and this guy was 24-2 with 24 submissions, and they would have to fight each other. Like it was basically like, is he going to be able to get him to the ground, or is he going to knock him out?
Is he going to use his? Is he going to use his specialty and win? And that's it.
It was like a video game. Like, what was your power up? His power up was a
special
rear naked choke, and yours was a haymaker to the face. Like,
so like if you had the secret to press the buttons real fast,
you got to double tap
track
it,
and field kind of shit.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
was.
now
I can imagine. I can imagine the commentary back then, like, well, if the boxer stays on his feet, he's going to win. But if the wrestler takes him down, I mean, that must have been the easiest job ever. Anyway, we got to get. Let's kind of wrap up here, Corey. If you're going to get a UFC fight, we'll get you in our little text thread, because Marlos and I are like armchair quarterback little kids. Where we're both able to be watching the fight. Little kids in excitement.
Let
like
me know
Christmas
when good ones are coming
with
up.
The fights.
Yeah, we'll only let you know the good ones, because some of them we watch because we watch them, and then we'll just be like, yeah, that shit was all right, it was cool, it was whatever. The good ones are the ones we go crazy about.
One quick story: I was at the McGregor Cowboy fight in Vegas, and we were sitting on the floor. My the Competitive Edge sponsor, Mark Patterson, had some extra tickets. And the morning of, he texted me and was like, I got extra tickets if you want to drive up here. And he literally gave us 2 free floor tickets to the McGregor Cowboy fight. And that's the type of guy he is.
That's some baller shit right there. That's some baller shit, bro. Because those aren't cheap. Those aren't cheap.
No,
seats.
I mean, he's like the greatest. He does stuff like that all the time. I mean, he's the best dude I've met through softball, and not just because he gives people free tickets, like just everything about him, very genuine guy. So
then let me say this, that's the last thing on my bucket list. I have not been to a UFC fight, so let dude know if he needs a 49 he needs a 49-year-old guy who takes a backwards K here and there, I'll swing some Competitive Edge. I don't care. If that's going to give me some UFC tickets, damn, let's go. I guess I got to hit the ball a little more and maybe get some wins or something at an actual competitive division.
Yeah. So who did you play with this weekend?
So getting into that, I'm running with JD Tools. This weekend was my first tournament with him, and I'll tell you this story to kind of sum up the weekend. So I went in, obviously. First, shout out to Marty's, who are always available to take care of my stupid ideas last minute. That's where the hat came from. I'm turning into the spin here. I acknowledge the looking K. I will get into it here in a second. But what I do want to point out is that we now have a brand new exclusive club here, sponsored by the Glue Glides. That is the Backwards K Club. Don Logan and I are exclusive first 2 members. Marlos is definitely not yet.
Man, I'm not fucking with that shit. I don't want to be in that crew. Fuck that.
We don't want, and we don't want you. You know what? We don't want you in our club. How about that?
I'm 100% in that club. I'm in that club multiple times.
That's right, Marlos. You're the outcast now, Marlos.
I'm fine with that. That's an awkward moment.
Played softball for as long as any of us have. I feel like it's inevitable to at least have one at some point.
Hey, we all have. Yeah, I was gonna say we all have
even on
one.
like a crappy call.
No, that's real shit.
Like an absolute terrible call.
Speaking of crappy calls, that's what happened to me in Vegas. Legit. I'm not gonna sit here and pump fake, right? Yeah, in Vegas, I got a crappy call, so much so that the umpire, in fact, came and found me afterward and was like, "Yo, I really fucked that up." And I'm like, "Yeah, you really fucking
pulled old Erickson, did he?"
Like,
listen,
shit was crazy, bro.
I would love it if one didn't actually hit the mat. Or if it was like 13 feet. Listen, I would love it. But let me tell you something. I got nothing. I was frozen. The first pitch was dead middle of the mat. I took a strike like I like to do. The second one came way outside of me, and I kept saying, it's not coming back. That's not coming. And it came back, caught the very front corner. Wasn't even the tip. All right. I saw black between both sides of the mat where the ball hit. And for a second, I went, I can take the worst looking hack at this and probably corkscrew myself into the ground. Nope. I'm gonna let it hit and just walk to the dugout. And I did.
I think McDill said last week. I think he said last week. It's better. Is it better? Or he asked it and he answered it. But is it better to watch it or is it better to go swing it? And I'm
always better to watch.
Always better to watch it, because if you swing it, you're just an asshole. You fuck that off. You're an asshole, and we can all make fun of you. But watch it, like you said, you could be like, it didn't look like it was a strike. I mean, fuck it, shit happens, whatever. You swing at it, you take all doubt away.
you don't get any in the waste, right?
Yeah, we got three more members to get into the group. Love it, McDill. Thank you. Quick shout out. David Lou's the one who uncorked that bad boy on me, and it was 2 pitches. First one hit the mat. Second one struck me out. I had no time to even think about it. So, Lou, you get your props where it's earned, and you earned it getting me. But I will say,
bang bang.
It was actually that game that made me realize that I kind of missed playing. So I went to the weekend, first tournament with these guys. Obviously, I know them, but I've never played on the team with them. I tried to stay quiet. I didn't know how I was going to do. I didn't want to open my mouth at all. Try to fit in, try to stay humble, not, whatever. And by the way, I don't know why everybody was so – you would have thought I was a Kardashian the way that news spread it at that K before I even got to the dugout. Umps are asking me about it in later games. I don't know what I ever did as a player to warrant the target I got. Oh, that's right. It's my mouth. Anyway. So during the game, we got into the open, and I think we were up 11 or 12. And I started messing around, and I started aiming, and I was trying to figure out what pitches were working for later in the day. And I walked probably 3 or 4. I walked a run in. And as the walks kept coming, I kept hearing the chirps from their dugout strikes and this and that, and you should have stayed retired, all kinds of good stuff. But I was trying to tune it out. I was like, that's not what I'm here for. And then for some reason, I walked into the guy, and the one guy said something about strikes, and something just, the switch went. I couldn't fake it anymore, and I got pissed. And I got the next guy to foul out on two pitches. And then that ended the inning, and I turned to the dugout, and I went, was that enough strikes for you? And 4 guys said, So I need to be, I think to be at your best, you got to have a little bit of that asshole
I agree.
in you.
Especially
you may not,
if you're gonna be on the mound.
Yeah, I understand they don't belong together. I was trying to turn over a new leaf, trying to be happy just to be playing. Let's be honest, I'm 49 trying to hang in there. I'm not going to be out there dropping bombs and hitting 900, all right? I got a role I got to play here. My hitting was all over the place. A couple end cap singles that, I was hoping to hit solid, but I'll take them. Poor Fig was playing with Where's 5 Out. I had him going left and right all day. And the problem was I didn't totally get a hold of him, so he thought he had a shot. So it was, dinner served. Mixed results, but I'm very happy it played. I missed it. I want to thank everybody who kind of said, hey, it's good to see you out here. And yeah, we got a new club, man. Backwards K Club. And I had a really good time. Argued with a couple umps. I still, to this day, and I'll say it live, I still don't think Erickson knows what 6 feet is. Playing catcher, watching the pitch, I'm telling you, I don't think he knows what 6 feet is. I'm just going to leave that there. And he knows I feel that way because I told him on numerous occasions during that game. That's how I feel. I had fun though, man. But we ran out of gas. And I got to tell you right now, yes, I can blame my age. You shut your mouth with your Dudley special sticky bats that you got to buy.
Wait. Why don't you answer properly? You can say that because you need that excuse. Yes. Okay. Cool. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, all right. Whatever. You also have 2 hands. I got 14 other excuses lined up if I need.
I don't have any wipies in here, bro. Sorry.
Yeah, I do not have any hip movement, and that's going to stop me from hitting any bombs till I figure that shit out. So let's just be honest. It's all me.
Yes. Yeah.
I can arm it all day long, and until the hips move, it's I'm trying to do a cha-cha without moving. But yeah, it's just nice to be out there, man. Talking a little shit with Sal. We played Toda Sunday. And Toda and Baggers were on another level all weekend. They were destined to go at each other. But we played Tota Sunday. We won a couple games, got to them, and we they pulled away from us 4th inning. But toward the end of the game, they did their Ryan Howard shift on me, and the outfielders, I guess, were sleeping or whatever. And I saw a big gap, and I go, well, screw it. And I split them. And as I was coming around first, nobody was really making an effort to go get the ball. So I huffed my fat ass out the second, and they're screaming at each other because I had no business getting the second. And that's why people were screaming at the outfielders to get it. But as I got the second, Sal had this look on his face playing third, like, did that just happen? And the only thing I could think to say to him was, fuck around and find out, Sal. Fuck around and find out. And I never seen him laugh so hard in my life.
Boy.
Because, he got the joke.
Oh, boy.
So, but yeah, Tota was on a fucking mission, man. That was on a mission. And, hey, listen, they double dip baggers, man. Worked up the losers bracket and double dipped them and kept it going toward the end. So that was pretty impressive. And they deserve their flowers, man. Tota Madre got it done out in Fountain Hills. And then our consensus pick, we didn't make picks, but I said
we did. No, we did. We did. We actually said exactly that. We said we're still going to keep running with the same picks.
Well, in majors, we're still right, buddy.
Yeah, we're 1 and 2. We're
still right.
1-1 this time. Yeah, that's what I said. Majors is going to keep going. I remember the one day we said it though. A couple of people were like, "Yeah, we're coming," and I'm like, "Oh yeah," but prove me wrong. I'm good with that.
I think what we said was until Bandits lose,
that's what we're running
against them.
Yeah,
they're 3-0, 3 for 3 here.
Yeah,
in the
man.
3 tournaments this year, and they did it. Shout out to a retooling Blue Point taking second. Working on some of the roster, a couple guys went other places and whatnot happened. But man, hell of a showing this weekend from the Blue Point boys. And look out, man, maybe they got the pieces together. You know what I mean?
How
very
long has
very
Nacho
impressive.
been playing with Bandits?
At least 2 years, right?
Nacho's been playing with them for 2 years.
yeah, at least 2 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him play in a while, but I'm assuming it's got to be really.
He's
good
still Nacho,
at
bro.
that
He's still
division.
he's still nothing changed.
Nacho, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's still playing baseball, so I don't really ever see him play softball. But
He's just swinging a different bat, Corey. It's the same
man.
results.
Crazy.
Yeah, man. Same shit. Same shit. Different day.
Shit.
Yeah,
Did he might have got offensive MVP.
he did.
I thought so, because apparently rumor I heard was that he took like 14 different pictures with the trophy at his house with his kids in his living room. That's just a rumor.
Yeah,
I heard that was going on in the Bandits team chat. So good job, Nacho. All the boys over there, Rick and the boys at Bandits, man. They look. Dare we say it? The D word there?
No, don't do that.
Can we after 3? Can we use it? No, not yet.
No, that's weird. That's weird. That's some weird shit.
I'm regretting my senior picks from our way too early senior picks.
Right.
I don't even know that was the Bandits lineup.
You
should have.
You should have checked.
I did not do enough research.
I thought Nacho played with Bandits last year. It's not his first year.
No, but it's just saying, just in general, that team.
I thought he did.
Good.
I thought he did too. I thought it was last year too.
He might have.
Yeah, I thought so.
I don't know.
Oh, wait, but was it that combination situation that happened? I thought he played with him last year, but maybe we're not taking into the account the combination team now.
Yeah, I do recall him kind of jumping back and forth because one team would play one tournament, another. I just can't remember who it was.
Yeah, that could be.
So, all right, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, those guys doing work this weekend. It was a long weekend, man. There's only 3 fields at Fountain Hills, so it took a little longer with the majors Bob decided to bump Heat up to play 40's major, and they hung in there, man. They hung in there. But then again, that's not your typical. Let's just be honest, right? That's not your typical 55 team. All right, come on.
Let's just stop.
Come on, yeah. Like so, that was cool that they had. Was it 7? I believe they had 7 teams in majors. And then we had 12 in AAA. So it was nice, man. It was nice. Little variety there. One thing that happened I thought was funny. They had nets there at Golden Eagle on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Sunday, Sonoran decided to use one. And oh my God, the crying and the you guys are wussies and Oh my God. But the funny part was, you know, the teams that were running their mouths end up losing to Sonoran when they used it.
That shit is so ridiculous, bro.
How is that? I mean, I had a guy arguing me on Facebook. Like, I don't understand. That it
can we
be a
talk
factor.
about can we talk about that argument? Because
I don't know that I want to. It just doesn't.
Wow.
Listen, I'm gonna say it like this, Los. You want to talk about that's cool. This is where I'm gonna end it. You can't fight a battle of wits with somebody who's unarmed. All right,
dog. Like look, man. I mean, I've been on the internet a long time now, and you know, there's no shortage of stupid fucking arguments on the internet. Like. And I mean, there's those points where you believe that one person is just trying to see how mad they can make the other person, even though they know they're wrong, right? Watching that particular argument, I just was like, dog, what are you even fucking arguing? You're mad to be mad. You just want everybody to know you're mad, or what is it? Yeah, I mean, it takes away, and you can't hit up the middle, and dog, it's a 4-foot screen, bro. It's not the expanse of fucking first base to third base, you dipshit. And then it's like over and over and over, and he's really arguing. He's going. And you're like, I mean, it just means you have to kind of adjust yourself and make some mental choices. And he's just like, no, it's fucking bullshit. I don't understand.
My favorite.
Fucking foaming in the mouth, bro. I'm like, yo, it's a fucking net. Are you really trying? Like, look, what man. I never understand is, are you really trying to hit the pitcher? Because I know we always talk that middle shit, right? We talk that middle shit, right? Yeah. There's some spots, obviously, directly at the pitcher. You go for the feet, you go right above, buzz the tower, whatever. Those are usually there's a higher chance that it's going to work, right? But for the most part, the screen is about the width of your pitcher, and I don't really want to hit right there anyway. I don't know.
4 feet. Come on, 4 feet. All right.
We
so
played
basically
a 5v5. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the thing that made me, like, there's a lot of things in there. I was like, listen, I will be 100. Let me break the fourth wall here. All right. When that went down, I text Marlos. I was like, am I crazy? Am I crazy? Because like I don't. So I needed to get input to make sure I wasn't losing my mind. And there's a bunch of things in there that I was like, it's not fair. It's cheating. It's you shouldn't. Basically said you should only be able to hit. He only hits within that 4 feet of the net, so it's not fair. But the thing that made me the most upset, or the most like crazy, somebody asked the opinion. Hey, net was used this weekend. What's your opinion? Right. And all I wrote was, it shouldn't matter. Okay, it's only a problem if you let it be a problem. He told me what I said was false.
Yeah, I was outdone, bro. I was outdone.
I couldn't wrap my mind around that. Like, so an opinion is true or false now. Like, where are you even, like, we're off on the wrong foot here. Like, you are doing tiddlywinks, and I am, like, writing out a NASA program for the space station. Like, we are worlds apart, son, and he wouldn't let it go. So I just started calling out stuff he said. I said, so what you're basically saying is you just hit at the pitcher. Well, yeah, that's what I said. And I was like, I tap out. I'm tapping out. I can't win. This
it was so bad.
Lose.
It was so bad. It was so bad. Like, that's why I said he was just foaming at the mouth. He's just mad, and he's not really even reading what he's saying or even what you're saying. And like I said, I'm an internet guy. I know what it is, right? I know internet arguments are fucking stupid. That's why I don't do it. And in this case, it was like, let me show you a stupid internet argument, and I'm gonna raise you 30. And he just kept going. He's like, nah. Yeah. I'm not at my top. Let's keep going. Like,
but the most important thing, remember something. A lot of people commented in that thread. I'm the only one he thought to take issue with. Just remember that, right?
Look, man.
Open up, see the bigger picture.
I was going to ignore that part. I was going to ignore that part just because the argument was so funny.
If we're going to bring it up, let's keep it real.
I feel you. I just thought the argument itself was really dumb.
Yes.
I was like, dude, okay, you're mad. Good. I mean, he's like, yeah, I only hit middle. Then you're an idiot. Like, I mean, I don't know any better way to say that. You're an idiot. If the only place you hit on this big ass fucking field is the 4-foot expanse of a fucking net, you're a fucking idiot. You should not be on the field. Whatever team you play for should not have you in the lineup. That's the dumbest shit I've heard all fucking year. And I work in fucking IT, so I can tell you some dumb shit. But goddamn, and he was mad about it, bro. He was mad about it. He's like, yo, it takes away from my opportunity because that's where I hit. Dude, there's plenty of grass, bro.
It could have.
Oh my god.
It could have got worse. It could have. I tapped out before it. You
hit it over the net.
Yeah, look, dude.
That's an option, sir.
But dude, that's how stupid the argument really was. Because he's just like, yeah, and I mean, he's like, yeah, I mean, that's where I hit. So you only hit within this 4 foot by 7 space. That's your only place on this field that at any given point has plenty of places in which there's empty grass areas that a player or net don't exist. I don't know. I've been playing baseball or softball for a really, really long time. And I was always taught that you hit the ball where the people are not. I don't know.
People let that stuff get to them. They're already like, so I was umpiring at the Spiders tournament a couple weekends ago, and the team was down 25 in the 3rd inning. They put like a backup pitcher in, and I was the only umpire, so from straight on, couldn't really tell exactly where he was releasing the ball at from his back foot perspective. And this person gets on first base and just starts screaming at me that he's pitching from in front of the rubber. And like, I can't tell, like his back heel's on the rubber when he has the ball. And then as he glides forward, it's like coming off. So I'm figuring his heel's just lifting off the ground, but I can't see from straight on. And she is losing her mind. And I was just like, is him releasing 4 inches closer really affecting your ability to score more than 2 runs this game? Like, I don't understand.
And there
it's
it is.
Coming in 6 feet. It's still coming right down the middle. It's just being released from 6 inches closer than it's supposed to be getting released from. If you can tell that much, then you're way better than I'll ever be. If you can really, you're getting beat by that slow pitch because it's 6 inches closer. I don't know.
Right. It's just like the guys, right? They get real mouthy when the rule goes against them. The rule only sucks when you lose a game because of it. So I don't remember anybody going up to Bob or making a big stink about the net Sunday morning when it got pulled out. No, I remember the post going up right after certain teams lost the game.
That's so ugly.
That was used.
That's so ugly to me, bro. I just can't understand it. I don't know. Like, to echo something that Corey said, I know that's the crux of the conversation we had about it when you first sent it to me and prior to this foolish argument that was going on. Like, dude, it really, if that's all it takes to stop you from being able to hit, you lost before you put your fucking cleats on, fam. Yeah. Like, you walked in the dugout and was like, yeah, we taking this L real quick. So I'm just out here to exercise my rights. That's weird, bro. That's so I don't know. I'm always amazed by softball dudes for shit like that. That's so weird.
I'll warn every single team now, all right? Come June, come May, all right? I'm going to go out and buy me a net, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I'm taking all that stupid fucking gear off. That's why I'll use the net. I don't have to wear my shins, my helmet, my chest protector now, the cups.
What, are you going to paint your orange face? Are you going to paint your face orange or what?
Hell yeah, he is. Hell yeah.
Hold on. Thank you. By the way, shout out Nugget. I now have the orange turfs, so I'll have orange available. I'll get a hat made. I'll do whatever I got to do. But to take all that shit off and not need it in July, sure. And if you can't get over the net, that's your fucking problem. I'm already sweating enough. I'll warn you right now, it's coming. I don't care how it affects your team. It's so I can go out there in shorts and a shirt and not worry about getting my heart stopped with the bats the way you guys are swinging them right now. Sorry, not sorry.
That's nuts to me, dude. I'm still just outdone. There were a lot of people complaining about it. I mean, it's a rule, and I remember when Challenge Cup was happening, people were doing the same thing. They were complaining, like, "Oh, I don't like it." And yeah, you can not like it or like it. I mean, it's whatever, but it's a 4x7 net on a field that, at its smallest, has 300 plus feet of space. Like, fuck you arguing about, bro? Like, what why are you trying to hit the net, dog? This is not fucking racquetball, bro. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
We played a 5v5v5 a couple weekends ago on a Sunday because we have 13, 14 guys on our team. We brought out 1 or 2 extra people, whatever. And we set up a net because, one of those power nets, screen, light, whatever. We played 4 innings of 5v5v5 plus maybe 1 more round of just like hitting. I think we hit the net 3 times.
Yeah.
The whole it's not like we weren't,
yeah, no, I know
the middle, but like if you don't think like the net's there, it never really even comes into play unless you accidentally hit it one time. Like I don't even.
And
understand.
even when you do that, right? You don't go, oh my God, I can't hit anymore. I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I'm here and I'm nullified by this net. Like that's the. And he was serious, and he said it on Al Gore's intranet, and it's therefore etched in history and shit. And he was mad, and he was really mad, and really typing like he was he was typing like he was having to dance around the saliva hitting his keyboard or some shit. And I'm like, dog, see the ball, hit the ball or don't. Shut the fuck up. Who cares?
Yeah. So listen again. All right. And here's the other thing real quick. So the first one's a foul. The second one is an out. All right. So if you hit the net twice, are we really? Then
you're a goofy man.
If the net
you're
wasn't
goofy.
There, all right. Come on.
Yeah.
Not to be too rude, but a lot of these guys couldn't even try to hit the net, or couldn't hit the net if they were trying.
If they trying,
5 chances they wouldn't hit it once, but they're gonna hit it every time when it's on the field.
All of a sudden, right? All of a sudden,
yeah.
Any other time, the same guy's like, yeah, I was trying to go to right side because that's what I do. And you couldn't hit 200 and something feet worth of grass, but all of a sudden you can hit 4 fucking feet of net. Fuck out of here, bro. That's some goofy shit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's just it's insanity at this point. All right. That's you have a mental issue you need to work on. All right. You need a therapist, not a BP session.
Hey, you know what you need to do?
Your brain's already done.
Mark, you know what you need to do? Next time you're about to pitch, you should fuck around and get a jersey made that is painted with the design of a net.
The net.
Boom.
The net, yeah.
Boom. They're not gonna hit you at that point, because they can't hit there. That's the only spot they cannot hit now. Like come on, man.
Look, chat never disappointed. Earlier comment I want to shout out. Let us know who it is so we can put all 9 guys in that 4 feet. Shout out, great call.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Cheeseburger in there. All right, made the comment of the night because if you've seen him hit, he walks the box and he lives in the middle. Okay, he absolutely does. It's the way his swing is. He's the one guy I definitely don't like pitching against because it don't matter what I throw. He can get me if he wants to get me. All right, but if the net's going to affect anyone, it's going to be Chi, and it did. He already posted. Didn't have any bearing on him when they played Sonoran. So look,
but he's a hitter.
Get over it.
I think we just solved the issue of this of that gentleman's problem. Look, Cheeseburger is a fucking hitter, right? This other guy, I'm not so sure anymore. Oh boy, what am I gonna do? I can't hit this spot. Oh my God, that's so fucking weird.
Do we even need to go on with the show at this point? We just solved world peace and world hunger with one comment.
Do you guys ever see Full House reference from left field? There's an episode where Uncle Jesse could only shoot a basketball from one spot on the court. I don't know if you guys.
Oh shit, no.
I don't remember. I should.
It's such a good reference. He could only shoot from one spot on the whole court, and if he wasn't standing there, he couldn't make the shot. So if you can only hit the net and the net's there, I guess you gotta find another hobby.
So here's my other this is my problem in life, right? Because now I'm really thinking, right? I'm thinking of all of these different possible permutations. So my thought was, okay, so if that's where you hit all the time, that's the only place you hit. Now you can't hit, right? So what you're telling me is when there's no net there, that's the only place you hit? All of a sudden the net gets there and you're like, oh boy, what do I do? But when the net's not there, you're like, fire and forget it. What the fuck, bro?
And what did I post? I posted. So you're telling me you hit at the pitcher all the time. That's what I posted back.
Dude, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, right? As much as, dude, and you guys are pitchers, I'm not. So I'm gonna put that out there. And I'm prone to some anti-pitcher shit, right? Saying some anti-pitcher shit, right? All right, but look, let's just keep it a buck. As much as fucking players in Arizona, and I'm certain motherfuckers in other states, because it happened to me in Vegas, happened in Texas, happened to Cali, and the few places elsewhere I've played. As much as motherfuckers get mad about a dude going middle once, even if the pitcher lays that shit sitting on the outside corner, middle, flat as fuck, their dugouts over there going bananas when you go middle. And when I say middle, I don't mean Buzz the fucking tower. I mean 2 feet to the right of his glove. And they're like, oh my God, is that what you want, fool? That's what you want, fool? So what you're telling me is this motherfucker hit middle all this time and nobody tried to fight him? Nobody called his mom a name? Nobody threatened his team from the dugout. Like, hey, you want a middle war, fool? What's up, fool? Nobody did that. Like, you cannot convince me of that, bro. I've seen 5 hoppers going back towards the pitcher, and the team in the dugout goes bananas. Like, oh, I see what it is. That's what we see what it. So you're telling me this dude is just like ducking fights on the daily? Like, I'm out, dude. I'm done.
We gotta find out where that league. Where's that league night at? We gotta go make a visit.
Man, shit. Oh, you didn't see. Now you said league, and you know at league, everybody got a chip on their shoulder, bro. The ball could be, man. You can hit a fly ball. You get a fly ball that flies over second base, and then motherfuckers is gonna be like, oh. So what? You want to hit middle? Like, come on.
First of all. If Park was pitching for Old Spice, that dude, look, I seen that dude take shots and shake them off like nothing. That's one of the toughest dudes out there pitching. First of all, second of all, Los could go Chicano if he needs to.
Hey, all the time, bro.
Point here, man.
All the time, bro. All the time, bro. I'm not gonna lie though. I've never look. This gonna be. Hey, this might sound a little racist, right? I've never been in a game in anytime I played softball, and the dude who throws a fit about somebody hit middle is almost always a Mexican dude. And he always has that accent. I don't know where he comes from. It could be a team, dude. It could be a team that's straight white. I mean, straight white, vanilla ass team. And out of nowhere, that dude will come out. Like, what's up, fool? You up there throwing for like, and I'm like, where the fuck this dude come from? Man.
Like if it's at night, the lights go down, a little spotlight from behind the dugout, and you kind of like, what the?
Where the fuck this guy come from? Dude,
I'm only laughing because it's true.
It's crazy, bro.
That shit so many times.
Hey, y'all gonna leave Mondo alone, bro?
I love Mondo.
Oh, that's my man, bro. That's my man, bro.
Oh my God. Oh, it's so true.
It's crazy.
Oh man,
it's great. Yeah, man.
And I wasn't disparaging the rest of Totem Madre about hitting the net. I tried to pull the best example, which was Chi, and he's the one where his natural stance and how he hits, is mostly in the middle. All right, that's all I was.
Wait.
You all had to fucking hit the
right.
ship here. I'm not shitting on nobody.
Mark, you got to say it right though. Cheese sends fucking missile sizzler. Fucking ballistic missiles back up middle. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people hit middle, but Cheese will send a fucking bullet and like all we're hearing is wow, and everybody's ducking, everybody's dropping to the floor and shit. And it just is what it is. But again, I've seen motherfuckers be in the dugout mad at him. So you're telling me that this other dude, like nobody was trying to fight him? like what the fuck, dude?
Now, hold on. I got to correct this right now before it gets out of hand. Let me say this, all right? In no way, shape, or form am I comparing that dude to anything that Cheeseburger has ever done on a field. First of all. Oh,
shit, bro.
Second of all, I love Cheeseburger because he is an equal opportunity scare the shit out of you, all right?
Hell yeah.
It ain't personal. You're on the mound. Once you take the mound, that's it, all right? So I can't ever get mad at him because he doesn't pick and choose. If you give him the ball, you should know already, all right?
Yes.
Now, there are guys who, like I said, we've had this discussion a million times. I personally think I can tell most of the time when a guy will reset his feet. Like, there's just times where, you're going middle for a hit and times you're trying to hurt somebody. That's the difference for me when I say going middle, and that's all I'm going to say about it, all right? But Chi hits the same at fucking everybody. I think a family member be out there, and if it's the right pitch, he better get that glove up. It don't matter. Because Chi's all about the game, man. He's competing there. He's trying to win. So, that dude, in fact, Chi, I'm sorry that you even got compared to that dude. I apologize wholeheartedly right now. All right. So, look, I had fun this weekend. I'm playing with BTB on the 18th. Is it 18th? Yeah. At a place where I wasn't sure I was going to be able to play. But I can play now. So thank you to everybody over there who got me unbanned. I appreciate it over at NCS. So we're gonna let that go today. So 18th, I'll be out there playing BTB. Don't know if I'm pitching, so please stop asking me. That was the one thing. Like, why aren't you pitching? Because we're gonna make you earn it, motherfucker. That's why I'm not pitching.
I might be out there though. I might be out there.
I'm hoping it works out that you can get out there.
Afterward, yeah. Depending on how we do, I'm hoping that I don't get to show up till Sunday.
Well, hold on. Yeah. Don't make any promises yet because you know it's in Maricopa, right?
Yeah, no, I know. I knew ahead of time.
I just want to make sure. I don't want to hear that. Wait, it's where? Oh hell.
Nah, bro. No. I even told Ryan. I was like, yeah, look, dude, it's in fucking Maricopa, and that's far. I don't like Maricopa. And I was talking, I was typing under my breath because who the fuck wants to drive to Maricopa? Shit. But it'd be fun. It'd be fun. And I think, he kind of convinced me because you're going to be there, which means, of course, I'm going to heckle the shit out of you from your own dugout. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing I didn't hear this weekend. So what are you going to...
I think that's what I'm saying. I think that's what a lot of people like misconstrue is, I don't give a shit. I'm talking shit to every motherfucker I know, especially I'm talking shit to people I don't know. I don't give a fuck. And especially you go up there and you fuck around and walk 6 or 7 people. I'm like, dog, you want to get a dial ride? You want to help them out? What the fuck, bro? Oh, man.
Now, first of all, you've been doing this show long enough to know that I will always have a comeback ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
I could walk in 10 runs, and I'm off fire back. I'll have something.
I know.
I don't know what it is right now. Yeah. I like to live in the moment. I'll turn around.
That's what makes it fun. That's what makes it fun.
But I'll say something, like, oh, what? You can only hit a 305. Couldn't give us a 400 there, smart ass.
Hey, bro, but I'm gonna ask you. Are you afraid he can only hit in the middle? Like, what? Do you need a net now?
See now, Corey. Every time, if I'm lucky enough, when we're playing on the same team, if we're not playing on the same team, playing against each other, that's gonna come out of that dugout at some point in the first 2 innings out of him. Like, hey, he only hits middle. He's only 4 feet. Mm-hmm. That joke will live forever now. Mm-hmm. Just like you not passing the 17.
Yes.
So anyway, listen, let's let Mr. Miller shine here a little bit. We like to touch on some other divisions. We like to kind of cover as much as we can of the whole softball spectrum. And we have a very interesting open tournament this weekend. So whenever we get, we say kids. Whenever we get the kids involved, we like to bring Corey on because he's kind of our, I guess, official, not unofficial, official expert on such things. Morris and I usually throw shit against the wall. We're hoping for once we didn't when our predictions come out later in the year, so I don't have to wear the ugly ass yellow fucking penguin fucking thing or
I'm getting smoked
horrible blue and gray.
There are so many things I would go back and change already just from a month and a half of playing. But I mean, the difference is like the E and D and senior divisions have played 3-4 times. Like, we've played twice this year. Like these have played maybe 3 times this year. So like,
hey, listen,
D and Open's kind of toss up still. The lower divisions though, it's like, oof.
Things could change very quickly by the time we come up to that tournament. It's all riding on our predictions for that one tournament. That's what scares me.
Yeah.
Right.
So, NCO retired last year, and then he Brett Favre'd it. Now all of a sudden he's back building an Elite C team. He wasn't even in the consideration as the time we got our pick.
And I remember we talked about that too. We were like, yeah, he's retired. And I was like, yeah.
What kind of retirement is that?
That's that Brady shit, bro. He's on that Brady shit, fam. He's on that Brady shit.
December off. Congrats.
Yeah.
Dude, you retired.
Yeah,
Come on. Ruin my picks.
He's missing training camp, bro. He comes in 2 days before the season starts. Come on now. That's a veteran move right there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Comes out and wins first try, like just putting the pieces together already coming in.
That's some Brett. Nah, that ain't Brady. That's some Brett Favre shit. Brady went early. And then Brett Favre walks in half hungover, 2 days before the game. Like, what's a game plan?
I mean, like,
shit.
AZ Athletics came out last in the months of Turf Wars, and I guess they had 7 new players, and most of them just got released from major league teams, and they were putting up insane runs, beating everybody. So who knows? Like, if they're out there this weekend, if they have the same team, that's another wild card, especially when you get 8 home runs a game, and those guys are parking them 350
fucking right.
Easily. So the bracket's actually it's interesting because Maricopa Valley Painting is Rally White. That's
I was going to ask you.
Main sponsor. I know they're missing a couple guys. I know Frank's on his, and Timmy just had Noodle's going to be there. I'm not sure who all they have, so I don't know what's going to happen there. But like Classy, half of them are playing big ball in Tempe. There's a huge big ball tournament I was actually supposed to play in, but so they have several pickups that are all very, very talented. A couple conference guys, I'm assuming. So I mean, right away, they have to play Masami, and then if they, play like they should, I mean, Bobby might, mix them up a little bit on the mound or whatever. But you figure they probably win. That's a rough first round between Riley White and Classy, in like the first essential round of events. That's tough. And then AZ Athletics, if they have the same team that rammed everybody a couple weeks ago, now all of a sudden Riley White, Classy, and AZ Athletics, two of them are going to be a losers bracket before you get to the King Seat game.
Well, let me poke you. Let me prod you for some info here, Mr. Impact. Are you going to have your roster out this weekend?
We have everybody but Pineapple, David Macias. But we do have Jake Smith back, who played with us all of last year at short. Young kid, played with Hype for a little bit. Phenomenal player. He moved to Utah. He's in town this weekend. He's playing with us, and he's playing the Vegas Major with us. And then we'll see kind of what happens with him being in Utah and whatnot. Like, I don't know if we're going to be able to swing it or not. But yeah, we're missing Pine, and we should have pretty much everybody else. We kind of switched a couple things up. Caesar and Rodney are playing with Geo now. We added Bud Birdsong. We added Trevor Plouts. Tommy's back from injury, so we'll see how he's feeling this weekend. And then, like I said, we added Jake Smith for the weekend, missing Pine. So, I mean, we'll see. We're still pretty young, figuring out a couple positions and this and that. And, if we're on it, we'll do really well. And if we're not, then, that's softball, I guess, right?
Yeah, right. I'm just trying to figure out the teams. I don't know. I'm not real familiar with the For Him team.
I don't know. Jeff Bryant's running that team. I don't know who's on it. Last time I looked at their roster, it wasn't uploaded yet. So honestly, I'm not sure. Cafe Elite, I know like Darren Gibbons, AJ Amaro. I think Woody plays for them. Colin Grant, I think is his name. So I know like probably half of that team. There's some talent there. I just don't know enough about the rest of them to really have a strong opinion, and For Him still doesn't have a roster up. So again, I don't know who's going to win that game, and we play the winner of that. So
right. Well, I mean, obviously, if I'm picking winners, I'd probably go Cafe Elite anyway, especially if it's the first time those guys are playing together. But looking at it, man, I saw somebody put Standard Plumbing in the chat. I would have loved to see them in this bracket, unless I'm missing them somewhere. And
they're not playing. But half their team out, so they didn't want to pick up randoms.
I mean, I don't blame them with some of these teams. I mean, it's going to be, like you said.
Like Shrive is like a C team. I think they're still playing. They're not in. X-Men's usually in events like this. They're not in. Figa is going to be a team that's going to be an impact in these type of events. They're not in. Standard's not in. That's 4, just off the top of my head. E-Docs, B team, Joe Myers' team, they're playing off and on throughout the year. They're not in. So, I mean, you could get up to, 14, 16 local teams in an open, or even B and under, which is pretty impressive. Like, that's never been a thing before. I mean, my first year.
I'm hoping that continues this year.
My first year playing D, there was 2 D teams and 2 C teams. That was it.
That's real. That's real.
The whole state.
Yeah.
We played one. I remember there was a weekend where it was us, Toonie, and MAJ, and they put us in one bracket, and we played Toonie, and then we played MAJ, and then MAJ played Toonie, and then we played MAJ, and then we played Toonie, and then MAJ played Toonie, and that was the whole day.
Yeah, now we got so many E teams that some of them won't even play. They're trying to duck other teams. We got so many of them. So
shit, bro! Funny. Whoa! You gotta let me know so I can duck when there's gonna be brass hitting the ground on shots, bro.
Where?
Huh? Shit!
Where?
Jesus, bro.
That's common knowledge. We talking firing shots.
That's
everybody says that, don't they?
I'm missing.
I said. So you're talking about there was 2 D teams, and now we have so many E teams that there's certain ones that literally avoid other ones because they don't want to play them. So it's like that's how many we have so many E teams. And a couple D teams pulling that shit too. But hey, it is what it is.
I can't tell who made the comment about standard plumbing.
Yeah, we can't really tell either. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the downside about Melon or actually the downside about Facebook. Facebook basically,
it's Facebook.
If the user doesn't go and do this thing that's scrolling here at the bottom and do the share my name, and if they do the show my name, they have to do it in the same. They have to do it in each of the different forms that we now post it. When we were originally doing, we were only posting in one place. Now we've expanded to all these different places because we're all big time and all that bullshit. But it never really works because people don't actually go do it. So I can't really tell who it is, but I also can't necessarily tell where they were.
I just don't really I know a couple of guys on that team. I know they're very young. I know that they ran through D last year. I assume they continue to do well in C events.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm really anxious to see. I know they beat Classy earlier this year. I don't really know anything about that game. But I know that was the first. I think that's like one of the first tournaments besides Worlds that they didn't win. That C event, they came in third. I mean, that's still impressive. Third place, whatever. I'm just excited to see because they have a lot of young guys, and I want to see how they're going to do against, B talent consistently. And I'm doubting they're not going to go to Vegas or anything, but it'll be good to play them. See kind of how that is.
Yeah, that's why I said them, and then
Mavens isn't playing either. They're usually decent too.
But I see like Sick Invites playing. Shout out to them, jumping up. I'll tell you what, Corey, I think this lines out pretty well for you guys and for AZ Athletics here. I think I see you two guys meeting at the end of this thing, looking at this bracket. I really do. Not to say there aren't other teams, but if Classy's shorthanded, that hurts them.
Yeah, I mean, they have phenomenal pickups, but it's not their team, so you never know if they're going to play well as a pickup team or if they're going to get swings type of thing, right? But they're very good, so I don't know.
Yeah, and again, I'm throwing, I don't know as much as I probably should about these guys, but just looking at it and what I do know and who plays for who, like you had said, AZ Athletics is on a hell of a run so far, and I know your roster, so that's why I asked you the question I did, and, and of course, look, Raleigh White can easily play spoiler to my plans here, let's call it. But the good thing is AZ Athletics is going to have to play them before they get to your side of the bracket. That's why I think it lines up good for you guys. And we'll see kind of who wins out of that battle because I think they're gonna play each other there early. And then we'll see how it plays out. But those are three teams I see doing damage in this thing this weekend.
I mean, obviously, I would like to go 2-0. I don't know who Nate has on Proton. They've been shuffling the roster around a little bit. So if they're on it, they could easily win. I'm guessing Quig's pitching. He's always good around the plate, getting guys out. But I expect to win our first two games. And then, honestly, if Classy beats Raleigh White, which for some reason they have had trouble in the past for whatever reason, I don't know. But I know Frank's not there, and it's not the full Classy team. Maybe something clicks, and they get over that Raleigh White hump. And then depending on who's pitching for them, I could see them beating the Athletics. Although Saguaro's 315, so I mean, you're not going to hit a lot of bad bombs. I mean, because you consider like you go to Cactus in the summer and you get 8 home runs on 285 fences, like teams blow through their home runs on accident, which doesn't happen as much at SRP. I don't know. I'm going to go with Classy there. Probably us and Classy, if I had to guess. I mean, but like you said, it could easily be Raleigh White versus AZ Athletics. Maybe Signot Week comes out hot. Who knows? This is kind of a
they absolutely have the ability to go on a run if it all clicks for them. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're young. They got some talent on that team.
It should be fun, man. It should be fun how this whole thing plays out.
I'm intrigued to see how the fields are. Sometimes they're decent, and sometimes they're horrendous. So I don't know. I'm planning on pitching the whole weekend, so I probably it won't affect me as much. But some of those outfields, sometimes, man, there's some rough stuff out there.
Well, you got to see whether grass has been cut, basically, because they haven't really fixed a lot of the holes. They did a lot of work on the infield. I know they got the turf underneath the batters boxes. That's been holding up pretty well. I had a senior tournament there a couple months ago, and the rain drained great, and then it rained again. But we had rain overnight, and it drained the field. The infields are beautiful. So I know they've done some work.
It's been super dry for years. When that field first came out. This was like before Pioneer was built, obviously way before Legacy, way before Paloma, all those things. Like, it was a premier facility, and then kind of just went to shit. Unfortunately.
Well, I'm sure that guy. I always forget which field, but I'm sure that guy who lives, left center over there. That guy perpetually gets his house hit.
No.
That poor son of a bitch. He wishes he could sell that house right now.
My first U-Trip tournament I ever played in my life was like mid to late 2012. I was nobody, didn't know anybody. I showed up like all like kid on Christmas. This dude's sitting there in like the shirt he wore out last night and some khakis, like sleeping on the bench. Gets up, hits the first pitch off that guy's house, and like lays back down. That was the first time I met Chris Rowe, and that's just like 100% how he used to be. But like that was the first time I saw him hit. He hit a ball off the house, and that was 8 years ago, 10 years ago. 11 years ago. So I can only imagine how many times those houses have been hit in 11 years of being in that location. That's got to be more frustrating than living next to a golf course, honestly.
Hell yeah.
Well, maybe they got to get U-Trip to pay for that net in front of his house.
You can never park your car there. Like, you can never park your car on that street. You can never park the car in the driveway. Like, that's
no,
that's
just asking to get smacked.
Yeah,
right?
that's awful. That property value's got to decrease so much because of that.
Well, I only got like 2 or 3 spots I will even park in either of the parking lots at SRP because I know where the lines are and where you're kind of safe, and because if the left, you got to avoid the right-handers. You got better odds with the lefties, and a lot of them aren't even pulling it down the line that bad. So there's a couple spots I feel pretty safe in. Of course, I was running a tournament. I just
lot all the time.
Yeah, that's where I end up usually.
I'm usually south lot in at least third row. Yeah, I'll never park in the first or second row, no matter what.
Same thought in the north lot. You can get 3 or 4 rows back there, and I've never seen anyone pulling back there.
Good. Yeah.
And then if I ran a tournament, I just parked it right inside there. I didn't give a shit. That was the safest place for it. Although I don't know if the net was up, some of these guys might have started fouling it off with their mental game all screwed up. Anyway, all right. Well, we'll see. We'll kind of see how it plays out this weekend. We'll get the results. I'm sure we'll touch on them next week. We'll see. I mean, these opens are always fun when we get this much participation, and hopefully those teams we talked about that aren't in it later in the year will get one where we can have everybody kind of going at each other.
There hasn't been a bracket like this locally in a long time. I feel like so.
No, I think we're in good shape, man. It's all everything's kind of finally working out to where, a lot of these C teams are jumping in. Like Sick Invite jumping in there. Off the top of my head, I'm drawing a blank, but I know a lot of those teams.
Yeah, I mean, like Sick
in.
Invite, Sick Not Weak, Cafe Elite, Masami, were all playing D 2 years ago, and then like 3 of them moved up last year, and then like Masami and Standard moved up this year. I mean, everybody's moving up, so I mean, there's going to create more teams, obviously.
Yeah, well, obviously, we'll see how it goes. Good luck this weekend. Obviously, you're playing. And we'll kind of review it next week. We'll see how it goes, man. We'll see if we're anywhere close, kind of a test run on the predictions.
Yeah.
Going into the one that counts a little later in the year. Who's gonna wear the other person's jerseys here? I think Marlos is pretty much out of the bet because we have nothing that he even cares
you can't.
about.
Nothing will embarrass me, dude. Like you'll fuck around and catch me on a fucking at a tournament wearing this shit. Like, hey, this was kind of dope. I'm glad y'all told me this.
I mean, the dude had a bear head on last week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing's gonna get him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
He's branching out, bro. He's gonna, he's gonna DJ.
Want to be friendly.
He's sick of Deadmau5 getting all the pubs.
I feel like the whole point of like being passionate about something is for this purpose. Like, it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna wear a Flyers jersey or an Eagles jersey, but I mean, I'd rather never do it. Right? Like, that's what makes it fun. You have nothing like that. There's nothing that you're just like, man, that would suck. Like, it's fun. It's fun to be passionate about the other side, though. I feel like.
I mean, I guess that for me, it's just the passion is the discovery. Because I find teams of all kinds, and hell, I got soccer team hats and shirts and shit like that. And for me, the passion is finding dope looks, a dope fit, a dope design, a logo, whatever the case may be, a colorway, whatever it is. That's it for me. I don't really give a fuck about these teams for the most part. But, you know, some of that's the fact that I live here and I've lived here, you know, the majority of my life. And the majority of my life, there were no teams.
We can't even put the net out for you every time.
I mean, you put the net.
You don't care about that either.
You ain't got to worry about me hitting it. You ain't got to worry about me hitting it because I mean, shit. You put the net out, I can't hit anymore.
Care about the net.
What am I gonna
do? Look out! Shots fired, baby!
Oh my God! You put a net out? No.
Well, we figured it out. Marlos doesn't have to wear a hat.
That's what it is.
Against the net.
Yeah, go against the net, bro. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Pull that bad boy out. Maybe
he's done, bro. Start rolling over, roll over.
Just retire now, dude. Don't even.
I mean, just look, because I mean, for some people, going middle includes a 30 hop rollover. You know, I mean, maybe that's what he meant. Like, I can't hit my shot.
Look, all I know is this: I'm gonna do an extensive internet search, Al Gore's internet. I'm gonna bring that back from earlier in the show. I'm gonna do an extensive search on Al Gore's internet. All right, I'm gonna find my own. I'll buy my own. And it's going to have orange netting, all right? It's going to have fucking orange netting. So I don't need the orange helmet. I'll have the netting in the fucking net where everybody lose their minds because they can't hit at me.
You got to get
like a dunk tank.
Hey,
I'll turn it into a softball dunk tank. Right?
You got to get that shit sort of. Nah, you got to get it so it comes out like a backpack, bro. Like you can wear it and you just go drop that shit over and it's like,
bitch.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro. And hey, if you do it right, you get it automated. So you just hit a button, like you put a button right here. Bow.
It's like a convertible on a car.
Hey, that's what I'm saying, bro. We in there.
And then it tucks back in.
Man.
Or better yet, Los. Better yet, I'll get one that's yellow and tell everybody it's orange.
That's right.
And I'm kind of cheap, so maybe not Transformers.
Leave Mickey alone, bro.
Maybe GoBots.
GoBots. Yeah, I was gonna say GoBots works. You know, it's all good. Depends on the iteration.
I'll spray paint it. Look, I got the real neon orange for work shit that I got to tag up, bro. I'll paint the bars orange like it's like it's a hockey net or some shit.
Whoa,
I'm not messing around out here.
How is the Toucan playing basketball drawing going for us? Have you made any progress?
I'm not a drawer. I'm not a drawer. I'm gonna tell you ahead of time.
We need to find somebody that can draw us this logo.
I got a couple of guys that I work with that are occupied for some other design stuff that we're doing. But yeah,
maybe I'll get my dad to draw something. He went to art school. He hasn't done anything in a long time, but maybe he'll come up with something sick. If he draws something on paper, you can turn it into a graphic.
Oh, of course. We can import. We can vectorize it.
Now we're working. Shit. Now we got to come up with some legitimate ideas. We got good color combos started. We need to come up with the drawing ideas, and then we'll get some stuff drawn.
Get some submissions going.
We're trying to submit some hats, Mark. I know you're lost.
No. I trust me. The way Los was talking, I already knew it had something to do with a hat. All right, so I was already there. I was just gonna say, look, you guys are working. Look, I still gotta wait for my goddamn BP mercenaries. This guy's so good at this shit. His hats are so good. You got to get in 6 months early, and then you got to wait for the thing. Now, when it gets here, I'll stop bitching. But fam. I wanted it yesterday, fam.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it.
That BP mercenary shit at the clink room, bro. Come on.
Yeah, I agree. It's tough for me too, you know. Yeah, I like your fit though, bro. That's what I'm saying. I like that. I told you my only suggestions that could be done, and I understood it was short time. But man, that's a thing that could be your thing on top of not on top of, but in addition to your orange helmet. When you're at the plate, you come up there with the backwards K on. Pitcher's all out of his mind. It's like the opposite of the net.
He's confused.
Right?
It's like the opposite of the net, right? Right. This is like dude here with the net can't hit without the net with the net there, right? So when you come up with the backwards K, all of a sudden the pitcher can't pitch. Boom.
Ball gets real heavy, which is hard every time.
I enjoy messing with shifts more than I used to. I will say that. There's nothing I know guys like hitting bombs and whatnot. Just for me, when they pull that second baseman all the way over and try to move the shortstop or the 5-man, and I put it to the other side of where he went every time, like 3 straight at bats, there's nothing more satisfying than watching that dude get pissed off.
When
it's a nubbler and he can't get to it, that's even twice as satisfying.
Wow.
I would love to go back to like Steels XLTs or TPS single walls and cork balls. And if you can hit a home run, you can hit a home run.
Yeah,
but like otherwise, you have to learn how to hit. You can't just hit it as hard as you can. And because the bats and balls are so stupid.
Yes, sir.
Like, I hit the ball decently far. I probably shouldn't be able to do that, but with the technology, you just have to know kind of how to cut a ball, and it's gonna go real far. But if we went back to that, I would just be 3-4 hole, 5-6, 1-4, 1-6
all day.
3-4.
Bang, bang, bang.
And I would never really hit a home run, but it would be way better, and then I wouldn't have to wear 400 pounds of pitching gear. It's a win-win for everybody.
Facts, brother. Facts.
God, it's awful.
It doesn't get any lighter either, let me tell you. Oh.
But if you are swinging 240s, you should be swinging Suncoast. Especially competitive edge. Get it in, folks. I can help you out.
Listen, we're learning here. I mean, we got Hitman gloves on board. You know, we're learning. We're trying.
Yeah, I know. I got to get my Boyd's Blind logo up there, dude. Tell me what I need to do. We'll talk
we don't do that during the show. But
we got a process we like to go through.
We'll talk about that elsewhere.
I will warn you though, some people learn the hard way. They try bringing that shit up in chat, and we don't do around that anymore.
Yeah,
so
we don't do that.
We took care of that problem. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finally breaking that damn glove in, man.
Have you been working on it?
I have. I got the pocket set now. Ball sat in there long enough, so I got one more round of hot glove, and I think it's going to be ready for the 18th. I'm hoping. But the good thing is,
my finger pipes a little tight. Still,
but tight. I did get the shock absorber for here just in case.
Yeah.
And my Nakona's just about ready to go. So one way or the other, I'll have some crazy looking glove out there with me. Either the black Nakona or the Hitman orange and gray.
Well, there probably won't be a net on the 18th, so you. You're
glove. You know what Gio used to do? He used to go to cages and put money in like the fast pitch or the baseball,
and just catch them,
or the fast pitch as fast as it goes, and just catch a couple rounds in the cage. He used to work at BLD, so he just turned those cages on, and he would just be out there breaking it.
Bat. Yeah.
And that's working smarter, not harder. I think.
Goddamn right. I'm not gonna lie. I do it from time to time, especially once the glove, like this glove we're talking about right now, mine, it's getting there, and I haven't used it quite as much. So yeah, I'll probably go when I go to D-bet again. I'll probably do a round or two just doing that, just catching it, boom. But yeah, hey, let's get out of here. We've been here for a long time.
Man, we put a good show on.
Yeah.
Thanks for you again, brother. Always appreciate it when you come on and join us. Really appreciate the extra work you do at UFC. We'll find some other obscure thing that we need to get you watching. I'm thinking maybe MLS or something, but give me time. I'll figure it out.
We just bought a Switch.
I don't know. Maybe we got to get into pickleball around here. I'm learning the pickleballs. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to get into Switch Mario and Mario Kart. So
hold on. Before we go, Los, I'm going to bring some up. Let me get this guy on the record now. We got him on the show, right? And you're going to enjoy this, Los, I promise. So you coming back to Apex or what, motherfucker?
Dude,
you were one of the first guys I ran with when I first got Apex.
I'm scared to go back, man.
Come on, you got to come back.
I'm scared for
you got to come back.
One, I'm gonna suck, so that's gonna really hurt my feelings.
But I'm playing, so you're
500
covered.
Something, and I'm not gonna be able to get anything.
I know that's the same as sitting in the 4 feet in the net, Corey. This is the same exact fucking thing.
This is much bigger deal. The addiction is gonna take over, and I don't know how I'm gonna continue to run a business and be a productive member of society when I'm one more gaming it until 6 a.m. every night, and that's a huge
that's
issue.
Real. That's real, because Corey don't know about Vantage. Corey don't know about the last 4. He don't know about Sear. He don't know about Newcastle.
Newcastle.
I've played with those. I played season 10, 11 a little bit.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
So
you
got
Valkyrie for the most part. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. There's a new gun. There's a new energy gun. I don't know anything about.
Nemesis is nasty. Fam.
Obviously, I don't know what the OP combos are anymore. Like, I had a.
Actually,
I had Wraith's special thing. Her little thing, and Wraith's not even a good character anymore. So like I wasted my money on that.
Right? All right. Wraith is still tops. Right. Wraith is still tops. What I will say, she's legit.
Me excited.
Yeah. Yes. What I will say, however, is as someone who has played since season 1, this is probably the most balanced the weapons have ever been. Period.
Oh, good.
There are multitudes of combos that are absolute laser beams. Whereas, you know, a couple seasons ago, everything was R99. Everything had, there's a few seasons, everything had R99 in it. Now you can really pair up a lot of different combos and just laser beam things.
I went like
301 still king.
Yeah, I went 301 99, or I went 99. Like Peacemaker was insane for a little while.
Still, that's still nasty.
Stupid. I mean, if you get a choke on it and you're just sniping people,
purple choke with the Peacemaker, but they nerfed the Peacemaker a little bit.
They did. The last time the last time I played it wasn't quite as powerful.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's
pretty balanced. You can run. Listen, you can run an alternator. All right,
I love the
nemesis.
Alternator.
Dude, that thing is legit. I prefer the alternator over 99. But
it's so accurate.
There, listen.
It's hard though. It's hard when I'm presented with the option of do I pick this? Do I pick up this R99 or do I keep this alternator?
Yeah,
that 99 is in my shit at all time. Yes.
And then I want to get shot and you're like,
run through a mag and you're like, damn, I didn't hit nothing.
But we got to get him on because I want to see his reaction when he picks up a wingman now. Don't say nothing. They'll be like, what the fuck?
I messed with that for a little bit too, and I was playing like religiously. But
it's dope.
Let's set up a time. I'll jump on.
Yeah, let's get after it.
All right, we'll get it done. Let's get out of here. You got enough entertainment out of us.
We'll
see you next week.
Later, everybody.
Until then,
thanks, guys.
Peace.